Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets podcast. We got an interesting show today, good show today. Joined with my partner in crime, my co-host as always, Dylan over at Nets Press. Dylan, it's been a slow couple of weeks. It's been slow. I'm trying to do a show, trying to give you all Nets content. There's not a whole lot to talk about. What are your thoughts on there being no news?
Yeah, it's probably been the most boring off season that I've seen in well over like 6 years. There is nothing even being rumored at this point that has any form of weight to it. So it's kind of the dead period of the off season that we've never seen before. I have no clue what's going on, in all honesty, and usually I have a semi decent idea of what's happening. But this year, man, it is quiet.
That's they usually say no news is good news. What's up, peeps? I don't necessarily think that's the case. I want to just talk about the rest of the offseason, what they should do with their cap space. There's a $12 million cap hold on Cam Thomas that I want to address. But first, I want to talk to you about the little bit of New Jersey net news that was released the other day.
Yes.
A documentary on Kobe Bryant with the 8th overall pick. When the Nets wanted to take Kobe's agent allegedly said that he wouldn't play for them, and then Kobe said, of course, he'd play for the Nets. That was a move done by his agent. What are your thoughts on the documentary, the timing of it? It all seems a little weird now, 29 years later. But what are your thoughts on the Nets documentary and Kobe with the 8th overall pick?
Yeah, I mean it's your typical Nets fandom put into a documentary, right? I feel that as a fan, our entire history has just been us getting fisted in some form of way, whether it be with
starting with Dr. J, yeah, and
yep,
then
it has always been something. So nothing more than to depress us as fans more throughout this boring off season. But no, I mean it's going to be interesting to see because I know Calipari was the head coach at the time. Went on to be a top 5 college head coach of all time at Kentucky, now with Arkansas, I believe.
Yep.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how badly we messed up because say that we were to have gotten Kobe there, say that you would have still been able to make that Jason Kidd trade. If you get Kobe, you likely don't get Kenyon Martin, but overall you're still in a similar situation to pair Kobe with Jason Kidd. I mean that kind of gives you a potential championship because we had lost to Kobe in that Lakers team one year. So
it would have been a completely different look because not only did you not have Jason Kidd, you didn't even have Stephon Marbury yet. You still had Sam Cassell, which honestly, that's probably. Are you old enough to really remember Sam Cassell?
Not one bit.
Okay, Sam Cassell.
I'm an 01 baby, man. I am strictly,
yeah.
Strictly going back in time and watching highlights. That's where my history goes with players of that nature. But yeah, no recollection of it physically happening.
Where's LBL? LBL would back me up on this. Sam Cassell was this little, but he was strong as hell. Post game, back to the bench. Sam Cassell could ball. So if you get Kobe, I don't know. Do you make the Marbury trade? If you don't make the Marbury trade, do you get the Jason Kidd trade? Like there's a lot of Cassell
missing pieces.
Marbury. Yeah, Marbury asked out of Kevin Garnett, and years later, Marbury was asked why he didn't get along with Kevin Garnett. He's like, no, me and KG got along fine. I just had to get out of Minnesota. He said it was 6 degrees with 6 black people in the whole state, and he almost killed himself.
Jesus
on the ice 3 times. And there was one time where he spun out on the ice and almost got hit by a 16-wheeler and said, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of Minnesota.
Wasn't built for Minnesota.
Yeah. So, that's always one of the great questions. What if Marbury and KG would have stayed together? Do they get a championship? I would say they still got to get past Kobe and Shaq, which is always
probably would not have happened.
If they would have stuck together for 8 years, I honestly think they would have gotten one. I don't know how, right? But Kobe and Shaq, like, it's so dominant.
Yeah, it was such a dominant duo. We weren't gonna build something to beat that. Now, if we had Kobe, does that mean Shaq would have potentially been a trade piece to New Jersey? Who knows? Because at the time, Shaq had wanted to team up with Kobe. So it would have been interesting to see how the NBA landscape would have changed if there was a possibility of drafting Kobe, which there was. But it'll always be a hypothetical and a what if, unfortunately. But
if we redid that draft, just not even knowing what the future holds, just on Kobe's potential, high schoolers did not go that high in those drafts, especially guards. Kobe, it would have gotten number 1 or 2. I guess Iverson still would have gotten number 1. He was so special in college, I guess. So, if we redid that draft, I guess Iverson would go 1 and Kobe would go 2. At that time, people, European guys and high school guys, people were so leery of, right?
Yeah, it was still pretty new to see those types of things happening.
And it was like a taboo thing to do, to go straight out of the NBA to college. It was looked like there was something wrong with you. Like, why don't you just go to college for 4 years and work for free? Why don't you just do that, stupid? Right? Like it was a weird dynamic, and it really didn't change. Garnett was really good right away. Stoudemire, this sounds weird in retrospect. Stoudemire, right out of high school, was probably better than Garnett, and definitely better than Kobe. Like, that's how good Stoudemire was. And you got some guys like that
in high school.
And you got some guys like that. And then when LeBron came in, he was a man-child. It was ridiculous. He was already an all-star caliber player. He's probably he was probably a top 10 player in the league. His stats may not bear that out, but as far as impact, 18-year-old LeBron James, day one in the NBA, was probably a top 10 player in the NBA, which is crazy to think about, right? Because, we all have high expectations on Cooper Flagg. No one expects Cooper Flagg to be an all-NBA caliber player this year, right?
I mean, could he do it? Potentially, with Kyrie out to start the season, depending on how they utilize him, he could be one of the best second options in basketball immediately. I mean, I don't think all-NBA, but could he be like
that's how good Bron was
in his first year? Yeah.
That's how good Bron was his first year. Bron was, I don't know if he didn't make it to the All-Star game, which was all politics. They want to put the rookie on the team. But Bron was a top 10 player in the NBA at 18 years old. And then Dwight Howard, I think, came in the next year. And then they kind of did away with it because ESPN signed a deal with college basketball where ESPN had the exclusive rights throughout the season. And they didn't want all the top high school prospects skipping college because they had a college basketball deal worth a lot of money. So, ESPN kind of brokered the deal that the NBA created the one and done rule because the ESPN didn't want to lose out on all those ratings where all the top high school prospects were going straight to the NBA. Before that, if you look at it, it's a mixed bag. For every Kobe and every Garnett, there's an Othello Harrington, right? There's a Jonathan Bender. Like these guys, Eddie Curry. Like these guys really didn't work out, right? So they were trying to Kwame Brown, right? And I don't even think Kwame Brown was that bad like Stephen A. Smith does. But that was all, I really believe that Stephen A. Smith was hired to make fun of Kwame Brown. I really do believe that. Because Kwame wasn't that bad, right? Like obviously he didn't want the number 1 pick in the draft. But if you go back, you look at Kwame, he's a good athlete. He could rebound. He could defend multiple positions. Like he wasn't all that. He had a 10-year career, right? Like it wasn't Anthony Bennett where it's like, oh wow, what did we do here? Yeah, he was better than Michael Oliver Candy. Michael Oliver Candy was number 1 pick in the draft.
What a name! What a poll!
I mean, these are number 1 picks in the draft. And these guys don't get mocked and ridiculed 20 years later. Kwame was better than those guys. But I don't want to get too much caught up on that. I do want to get to the topic at hand. Let's preface this. So you're looking forward to the 8th overall pick? You're gonna watch it? You're gonna check it out?
No, I'll definitely be checking it out. I mean, it'll be interesting to see some form of content around the NBA world since this has been the most dead off season in years.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be watching it. I'm not sure when it comes out exactly. I didn't really look into it that much, but I'm sure I'll see it around.
What I wanted to get into next was, let's start with Cam Thomas, and I'll transition this into the rest of the offseason. We've been waiting for, I would say, close to a month now to have some kind of news on Cam Thomas. And there's no news on Cam Thomas. I don't even think they're speaking. And it's like when you break up with a girl and someone says, are you going to get back with your girl? Like, I haven't spoken to her in a month. No, I don't think so. Right? Like that's kind of how this feels. Like this is done. Cam Thomas is done with the Nets. Don't.
I mean, it feels that way long term. Is it going to be this season? Who knows? Just because he has the qualifying offer still offered to him, he can come back for that $6 million. So it's just going to depend on what him and his agent want to do. Again, I think for both sides, it's just pure stupidity to bring him back on a qualifying offer. I think it affects his long-term free agency status, and I think that it affects the Nets utilizing him as a trade piece if they don't want to keep him long-term. So it's just a very stupid situation to be in. I definitely think that they need to try and figure out something, whether it's signing him to a 2-3 year deal or it's just simply trading him. Either way, you have to get it over with and figure this out so this way you can start cutting roster spots and building that 15-man unit.
And that's the problem, is you can't really trade Cam Thomas unless you can. It's interesting right now. First, if he takes a qualifying offer, you can't trade him. Mm-hmm. Two is you already have a full roster. So what are we just waiting for I guess my question is, why don't you have all this cap space? And we're going to get into the cap space in a minute. Why not just give Cam Thomas $20 million? You literally have to spend the money. I understand waiting to see if anyone else is going to offer you a pick in a salary dump type of trade, right? Like the same thing you got in Porter, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's say 2-3 more weeks go by. We're middle of September, and nothing like that has presented itself. At a certain point, we're a month away from the start of the season at that point. If you're still sitting on all this cap space, and remember the cap space that we have includes the $12 million cap hold on Cam Thomas. So what at a certain point, like, why not just give him the 2 year for $20 million per? Like, I'm being serious. Like, what you have to do something with the money. You literally can't do nothing with it.
Market value. No need to overpay for a guy that doesn't have the market. Can't do it.
I mean, you have to do something with them. If you look at our salaries, if you look at our payroll, it's ridiculous. I think Yegor, who is a rookie, is the 4th highest paid person on the team.
Could be. Yeah, he's in the $7 to $9 million range as the 8th pick, I believe.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, maybe 5 to 7. Yeah, he's up there in terms of payday, just because there's really not much on the roster. You have MPJ, you have Claxton, you have Terrence Mann at $15.5 million. Outside of that, there's really not many guys getting paid. So yeah, he's probably up there.
Can you guys see this? Here's the Nets salary situation. All right. Michael Porter Jr. by far the highest paid net on the team at $38 million, 50% more than anybody else. Okay. That's an overpay. I don't even hate the contract. I think Michael Porter, to say worth it is a complicated question, because worth it to who? He's not worth $40 million to the Brooklyn Nets, but to the Denver Nuggets, I think he is, right? Or to a good team, I think he's worth $38 to $40 million. I think he could definitely be a third option. The third option gets paid $38 million on a contending team. But let's say that's an overpay. Then you got Claxton, which is grossly an overpay. And then you got Terrence Mann, which is a little bit of an overpay, right? So your first 3 contracts, you could argue, which is about $80 million, are all overpays. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I don't look at contracts like that because we're not the team that offered it. The Claxton one, sure, but Terrence Mann had his contract elsewhere. MPJ had his contract elsewhere. You can't say that the Nets are paying these contracts when they're not the ones that physically offered and signed the contracts. So to me, you can't look at it as an overpay. You just have to look at it as what was the trade value that you got back for them. Now, you got a $15.5 million contract and the 22nd overall pick, which turned into Drake Powell. Is that worth it for Terrence Mann? Probably, right? You got a first-round pick unprotected in 2032 and Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. Is that worth it? I would say so. So I don't look at the contract.
Michael Porter Jr., yes. Let me. Michael Porter Jr., I would say is worth it. Okay, fine. The Terrence Mann thing. So you're taking, I want to just be clear, you're taking a $47 million worth of contracts for Terrence Mann, who's going to give you almost nothing. So that's $47 million for almost nothing. And then you drafted Drake Powell, who you're paying another $3, $6, $9, $10, $16 million to. So in essence, that's $46 million for Terrence Mann and another $15 million for Powell. You're paying $60 million for Drake Powell on a rookie deal, right? Because you took in 45 just to have the ability to draft Drake Powell. when I phrase it like that, do you think Drake Powell is worth it?
What else are we doing this year? We're tanking.
I
We're
mean, it's a
rebuilding.
fair-
I don't give a fuck who's on the roster this year. In all honesty, it does not
I get
matter.
it. I get it.
As long as we're losing, as long as we're in a conversation and with an opportunity to land a top 3 pick, that's all I care about. So to me, it doesn't matter what contract is here, what player is here, who we don't like, whose contract is bad. If they're losing games, congratulations, you're going to have a fan in me for this year. Unlike last year, where I was on the verge of just not being able to watch a single game because it was the same shit every day. Horrible team walks into a team that undervalues them, beats them in the first 3 quarters, close game throughout the entirety of the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and you are winning at a 30% clip. Yeah, that's going to piss me off. So as long as this year the goal is to just simply develop the youth and land a top tier pick to finish off this, draft aspect to the rebuild, then so be it. I don't care who's on the team for what contract.
Those are fair points, right? You look at, like, I had this up here, Porter, Claxton, Mann. Okay. And then it becomes ridiculous. Yegor is your next highest paid player at $6.8 million a year. And then after Yegor, your next highest paid player is Haywood Highsmith. So your 5 highest paid player.
It's very impressive.
You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
No, not at all.
Highsmith? That's your 5th. So if your 5 best players start, that's Highsmith would be your 5th. Like, this is insane to me. Like, and then, but you're going to do nothing with it? I don't understand. At this point, you're not trying to win. That's established. And Dylan, you've been on the record many times saying you don't think Cam Thomas really adds any win to this team, right?
No.
So isn't Cam Thomas a perfect tank piece in your estimation?
No. And the reason I say that is because I don't think that he helps these rookies develop. I think he takes the ball away from them. I think that he limits the opportunities for playmaking abilities. I like Cam Thomas as a player, but with the guys that you just drafted, I'm sorry, but all the guys that were taken were drafted above him, if not at the same pick as him. 3 of these guys 100% are considerably more valuable to this franchise long term than Cam Thomas is. Specifically, if you're just
Cam Thomas has any value to this team long term because he's not in so much as to say other than what we can trade him for. Yeah. But he has no value to this team long term at all because he's not a part of the team. It's like when you pick up some broad at the bar and you bring her home and then send her on her way. It's like, well, how much value does that chick have to you long term? None. I'm never going to see her again. Yeah, 0. That's not me speaking. That's Sean Marks of the Brooklyn Nets organization speaking. They view Cam Thomas as the one-hitter quitter, which I don't know. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm sending that on its way, and I'm never going to speak to her again. That's how they view Cam Thomas. Am I wrong in saying that?
I would say no. I mean, they have not showcased any form of desire to keep him. So why should we, as fans, expect him to be here? It's just, you can be in an uproar or you want, it doesn't matter. What the organization is going to do is what they're going to do.
Here's what I also want to say to that, because I like Cam Thomas. I'm a big Cam Thomas fan. I love his confidence. I love the way he plays basketball. I know that's weird for people to hear. I love Cam Thomas's game. I love how he's a fearless shot taker. Like, I love the confidence. I'm a Kobe fan. I like it. But here's what I'll say. If we get Darren Peterson, you know what name you'll never think about ever again so long as you live?
Thomas.
Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Cam Thomas fan. I have a Cam Thomas jersey. I like Cam Thomas. If we get Darren Peterson, you'll never, ever think about Cam Thomas ever again so long as you live. I promise you that.
Not one bit.
So, I think there are 2 options. I think Cam Thomas either takes the 2-year, $14 million per deal, which I think is becoming more and more of a reality, or he takes some other deal somewhere else, and the Nets match it in a sign and trade. But either way, I think Cam Thomas has played his last game as a Brooklyn Net. I don't think he wants to come back. I think he's made that clear by saying, I want $40 million, which is silly. And I think it's quite obvious the Nets don't want him back. So if he doesn't want to come back and the Nets don't want to come back, don't want him back, why would he come back? Why would he be back?
I agree. I don't see any route as to why he would want to come back. It's just the position that he's in. It's the position of the market, and it's the stance that the Nets have held. There's really no sign that shows they want him back.
If you were the GM, if I fired Marks today and I put Dylan Netspress in charge of the Brooklyn Nets, other than moving him back to Jersey, would you keep Cam Thomas? Would you try to make an offer to Cam Thomas that he may sign, or would you also let him walk?
I'd probably let him walk. I wouldn't let him walk. I would do a sign and trade.
Well, you know, sign and trade, right? You wouldn't want him as a piece of the future, correct?
Probably not. No.
Okay. See, that's where me and you differ. I would try to. I would offer him what I think is a fair contract for his value, which is 3 years at $20 million plus per year.
No.
I want to let him know that I want him here, right? If he demands 40, well, look, I'm going to be honest with you, Cam. When we're good, you're a 6-man. 6 men don't make $40 million a year, so I'm not giving you 40. Right now, you'll be the best player on the team, but that doesn't really matter, right? As soon as we get Darren Peterson,
doing it on a garbage team.
Yeah, as soon as we get Darren Peterson, you know where you go to the bench immediately.
Yep.
Because it's Darren Peterson's team now. If you don't like that, that sucks for you, but you don't offer any value to this team outside of getting buckets, which I do value quite a bit. But that's all you can do. You're a one-trick pony. All right. Darren Peterson is a really, really complete player. So I want Net fans to remember that. If we draft Darren Peterson at the end of this year, or DeBanza, or Boozer, whoever you like, don't worry about Cam Thomas anymore. You know, Cam Thomas, again, we're not going to have a conversation in 10 years saying, oh, we should have kept Cam Thomas. He's not that kind of player. I'm not saying he's not going to have a nice career. I think he could. In the same way Lou Williams had a nice career, or Crawford, or those guys had nice careers. They did. But those guys played for a lot of teams throughout their careers, correct?
Yep. Bounce from team to
There's
team.
There's a reason for that, right? And again, if I said those names, Jordan Clarkson, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, I like those guys. I think those are good players, but they're not irreplaceable building block pieces. Like, they're just nice players to have off the bench.
100%. I agree.
All right. Let's get into, so if Cam Thomas goes elsewhere, that really makes our salary, because the salary cap that we do have, which is, I have it right here. I'm going to share it with you guys. This is straight from thirdapron.com. How do you say his name? Yossi Goslin?
Yes.
The Nets salary right now is at $126 million. That includes a $12 million cap hold. So that really means we're at $114 million, which really means we have to spend $40 million more to get to the floor.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear, and we have a full roster, keep that in mind. It doesn't appear that there are a whole bunch of trades left. So I guess the question is twofold. Do you start the season that far under the cap where you have to then just pay people extra money? Or what do you do with the extra cap space? Because it doesn't look like another team salary dumping is an option. And B, you don't even have roster space for it. If we cut these guys with the non-guaranteed contracts like Keon and Tyrese and Drew Timmy and them boys, we're going to have a ton of cap space that's unaccounted for. Now, you have to spend at least 90%. Do you just cut it, count it as a loss and pay out the extra money, or what do you do with what now seems to be $40 million or more in dead cap, or in unused cap?
No, I mean, I think there's going to be a way that they can figure out the possibility of using it. It's just they have to start doing these types of things now, like the Keon Johnsons, the Drew Timmys, the Jalen Wilsons, all these guys who are on team option deals for 1.7 to 2.3 million. Get rid of these fucking guys. Like, they're solid players, but they're taking up 4 roster spots at a combined less than 10 million. You have to figure out a way to spend that money. You know what I mean? So I think that these guys should be immediately cut to clear up these roster spots. I think Cam Thomas at $15 million per year for 2 years with a player option or a team option or even just a flat out deal. Utilize that. Use him as a trade piece later down the line where you can maybe package him and Claxton for a 1-2 year deal that matches up with Michael Porter Jr.'s and multiple first round picks. Like, if you really don't want these guys long term and you want to be able to utilize that cap space in the proper way, go out and do something. But it's like they're trying to keep some of these journeymen here on just to show like some form of respect out of how hard they played last year. These guys are all replaceable. There's not a single player on this current roster that isn't replaceable. You know what I mean? Like, outside of the rookies, which you don't know anything of yet in terms of their NBA value, you probably won't fully understand what their value is for at least 3 years. You'll get a good idea of it after 2 years, but everybody else on the roster is expendable. It doesn't matter what name you throw out there. Cam Thomas is expendable. You can replace scoring in this league. Nick Claxton, you can replace 6'10" undersized center that has defensive abilities. You can replace that. Michael Porter Jr., you can replace floor spacing. Like, there's things on this team that are, every aspect of it is replaceable. Why? Because it's rebuilding. It's not a team that's contending. It's not a team that's fighting for a play-in playoff spot. This is an organization that is starting practically from the ground up. So to kind of be gatekeeping some of these guys and prolonging this inevitable decision that needs to be made is kind of pathetic on the front offices, on their end, right? So they got to figure something out. I mean, we're about to hit September. Training camp starts in 31, 32, 33 days, something like that. The time's ticking. You got to get this shit under control.
You say it's training camp starts in 32 days, 31 days?
Yeah, it's right at the 1 month mark almost.
That feels like a ways out, though, right? I feel like, okay, this offseason has been going on forever. Like, I feel like we're close, and then you say, well, no, we still have another month. It's like,
yeah,
no, that's the
training
rest of the
camp,
baseball.
about a month and a half until preseason, and then October 22nd is the first game of the season, I believe, in Charlotte.
I don't know what's more painful, watching the Nets try to lose or watching the Mets try to win and fail. I don't know which was more painful, watching the Nets try to lose last year and win, or watching the Mets try to win and lose every night. Both are
it was. I'm not even kidding. Last year as a Nets fan was the most depressing season I've genuinely been a part of, and I survived the 10-72 season. Last season fucking sucked. Last season was miserable.
Last year was awful. Because there was no hope involved. It was only like it's this or worse, right? The 10-70. Look, we ended up taking favors. Okay,
at least you knew you sucked. Though. Yeah. That was the problem. At least you knew that you were guaranteed a top tier pick. Which, again, when you're looking at probably the last 6 draft classes, 4 of them have been pretty deep. The last year's one was extremely deep. This upcoming year is probably the deepest draft class ever because of some of the guys who went back to school and will be in like guys like Yaxel Lendeborg, JT Toppin, Isaiah Evans, Boogie Flan, LeBaron Filan, like Ian Jackson. Like, these are guys who were all projected first round picks this past season who went back to school, who will now be filling out the late first round, the middle first round, the early second round. Like, next year's draft class is one of the best draft classes ever in terms of overall depth. And we said that last year because of some of those guys that were in it. But because they're starting to carry over into next year, it's like these are the 2 years that you want to be in the bottom tier. You want to have a ton of picks. You want to be able to rebuild. Like, this is the time to do it. So they can't fuck this year up. Like, this is do or die in terms of the rebuild portion of it. Because if you mess it up and you don't get a guy in this draft who is going to change your franchise, you're now in the position where the only way to do this is by overpaying for a superstar. You don't own your own 2027 pick. You're what? You're going to rebuild for an extra 2 years until 2028 to where you have another pick again and take another shot at it, even though you messed up the first 2. Like, at some point they just have to buckle down and shit themselves, quite literally. They have to lose. There's no other way to explain it. The floor of the pick matters. Being the worst team in basketball guarantees you a top 5 pick. This past season, that got you Ace Bailey. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do what's necessary to get this pick, by all means. I don't care if you have to release a player midway through the season because they're doing too good. I don't give a shit. Make it look as obvious as possible. I don't care. You need a top 3 pick this year.
Well, I mean, to me, the only way to guarantee yourself a top 3 pick is to obviously miss the playoffs, which the Nets are clearly going to do. That's the first prerequisite. And the second is to show the NBA, to show Silver that you created a place that I can stick to Banza or I can stick Peterson. And it's not going to be sticking him in hell, right? And he's going to go here and he's going to have a chance to shine right away. I don't know if what you're saying builds that kind of like why if that's the case, if you're just building a team that's an absolute disaster, why would Silver put Peterson, his ace in the hole, his shiny object? Why would he give that to you guys? I'm saying that about any team, right? Like I believe that Boston's going to pick number 1 in this draft and take Devanza, and that we can sit at number 2, hopefully, and take Peterson. I don't want a top 5 pick. I want a top 2 pick, no worse than 3 or 4, right? Like I gotta have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Other than that, like I think I'm screwed. Like I really, really think I'm screwed.
For me, it's top 3 or Sean Marks by guillotine. There's no in between. You need.
I'm with you.
You need it. Like I usually am not the type of person that like makes it as like, oh, this is like do or die. Like last year, I tried to be somewhat positive. Like there was a chance of Jeremiah Fears. There was chances of moving up. Clearly, all scenarios that I had got absolutely shit on because Sean Marks sat on his thumb and twisted on draft night. So like this is really like the make or break, do or die season in terms of can this be completed within a 2-3 year span so you can start competing sooner rather than later, or are you going to have to expand this shit for 5 years and just keep rolling the dice hoping for the best? Because there's no in between. You can't be mediocre. Mediocre in sports is the worst place to be. I'm a Steelers fan. Every year they either start the season off 4-1 or they start the season off 1-4. And then they end the season off with the same shit, 9-8 or 10-7. They sneak into the wild card, they lose in the wild card, and they're drafting between picks 20 and 24 like they do every year. It has done nothing for us, right? Same thing goes with basketball.
As a Jet fan, I would literally give my left arm. I was going to say my left nut, but I'm not giving it to the Steelers. But what I'm saying is I'd give my left arm to be in your position as a Steelers fan. As bad as you think it is.
I see but that's the thing. When you see this shit for 8 years, when you're just dead in the middle, you can't win a playoff game, you can't get a top tier pick. It's the same result every fucking year. It's like missionary every night. Nobody wants to do it. It's not fun.
I'm actually fine with that. Really? I'm not just because you're young. I guess at my age, like that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Just a little belly to belly now. You go belly to belly.
If you're telling me I'm still getting it every night, but it has to be missionary, all right, done, deal, sign.
Oh man! All right, so I guess that
he's 24. Yeah,
I mean, listen, it's not a fun place to be in the middle in sports. Being in the middle sucks. Either suck ass and get what you need to be better, or be great and go out and compete. To me, there's no middle ground, and this season's going to determine whether or not the Nets need to accelerate this rebuild through trading and taking a chance on all of these picks, or if it's going to be landing a top tier guy and filling out the roster around him. There's no in between.
No, I agree with you. When the Jets got Aaron Rodgers a few years ago, I said, okay, I don't love this, but I'm going to love it because it's the Jets attempting to say we're going all in for Super Bowl. Okay.
Yep.
I'm with it. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm with it. And then like the Mets getting Soto and doing some of the things that they did. That's saying we're going all in. We're trying to win a World Series. Okay, let's see if it works. Right? Like I'm with it. You're right in the sense that trying just to exist in the middle sucks. Like it really, like you know what I'm saying, like that. Especially when you're a fan of a big market team. Like if you're a fan of the Utah Jazz, what are you gonna do, right? Like,
yeah,
okay, maybe. But when you're a fan of a big market team, part of the reason why you pay all those taxes is because you're supposed to have a team that are fun to watch and compete at the highest level. Yeah. So like the Nets just trying to exist, just trying to be, a 5 seed, a 6 seed, just make the playoffs every year. Maybe once in a while win one round in the playoffs. That should not be the goal. I agree with you. It's far too big of a market with far too much lore to say we just want to exist as a franchise. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's just you have to figure out the direction at some point, right? In the past 3 years, it has the direction has changed midway through the season every single year, right? Like the year that we traded Kyrie and KD to start the season, it was championship or bust, right? Then you traded them, and midway through the season, it became, all right, well, let's just fight hard enough to get our playoff spot. All right, you got swept. You sucked. The next year, it was, okay, we're going to try and make the play-in or the playoffs and add some pieces at the deadline. All right, well, you passed on DeJounte Murray and you made absolutely no moves. You sucked, and you gave the Rockets a top 3 pick. Congratulations, right? The following season, you're in a position where you now own your pick. You have the ability to right the wrong of KD and Kyrie of not being able to own your own pick the year previously, and you have the chance to bottom out. It's right in front of you. Your roster sucks. Your front office sucks. Everything sucks. And instead, you win, 27, 28, 29 games, whatever it was last year, and you shit yourself on draft night. Congratulations. Again, another aspect of your direction has changed because you can't just stay with one route. And this year, it's make or break. You have to bottom out. This is the last year you own your pick. It's the most valuable draft class with the ability to change your franchise for multiple years, potentially a decade. Just do it right. It's not difficult. Suck.
Well, I mean, look, we just pull up the roster again. We don't have to guess if the Nets are going to suck. The Nets are. Did you see the roster? It's. We were talking about this on a previous show with Pete. It's one of the worst rosters, if not the worst roster you'd ever seen. All right, when you
it's a bottom 2 roster in basketball. It competes with Utah. Utah, the difference is though is
it's worse than Utah. It's worse than Utah.
Yeah, they have an all-star. Yeah, Utah has an all-star. They have a young, promising prospect, and they have a better overall bench than the Nets do. So, yeah, the Nets are probably the worst constructed roster in basketball currently. But, again, injuries happen. Teams purposely tank. They do their part to get a top-tier pick. The Nets don't. And this year they need to.
Which, yeah, I still have dreams of, Peterson being on this team. And I know it's not going to happen. Why do I do this to myself, Dylan? I know Darren Peterson is not going to play for the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to get the 7th pick in the draft again and get some dude, right? But I said, okay, I'm going to get through this season. And then we're going to get Darren Peterson. And then we have a real future. We have Jaeger at the 1, Peterson at the 2, and all the cap space in the world to sign another star. We'll have Porter at the 3. We have all our role players in place. Some of our role players, right, with this draft class. We're going to be good. Right after this year, things are going to start to get better. We're going to get Peterson, who's going to come out the gate, and we're going to be good, at least competitive and entertaining to watch. And then I say, bro, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. We ain't getting Peterson. Right? We don't get nice things.
Yeah, we drive around in Priuses for 15 years. We don't get the Lamborghini. We never get the Lamborghini.
We're not, right?
We got the Lamborghini and we fucking crashed the Lamborghini into the Hudson River. We didn't even.
What? We didn't
even ding it. It wasn't like it was a fender bender or you tried to parallel park in the city and you scratched it. I mean, shit. You drove that thing off the GW into the Hudson and you didn't take the seatbelt off. You just went with the car. It was that bad. The past 4 years when we were trying to contend, it was horrible.
What's so frustrating about that was if Sean Marks just would have had the balls to say this to James Harden, Kevin Durant's going to be back in 2 weeks. We're the best team in the NBA.
Still blows my fucking mind, man.
Get out of my office. I'm not trading you. Well, then I'm going to sign somewhere else for free agency.
Do your thing. Fine. Go ahead.
Get out of my office.
It's not like the assets in return we have any of them. We got rid of the Mavs pick. We don't have Spencer Dinwiddie, and we don't have Dorian Finney-Smith. So who gives a fuck? I would have let him walk for free. It wouldn't have mattered.
That's what I'm saying.
Frees up cap space, gives me the ability to bring some guys in around KD.
That's my point. I can get a better fit around KD when you're gone. So that's actually fine. If you want to leave, that's fine. I think we're going to win a championship this year, so I think you're going to want to stay because we can go win a championship next year too. We can build
they 100. Wasn't that the year Miami made it to the finals? That year they 100% could have made it. 100% could have made it.
Yeah.
Again, though, malpractice. A guy that shouldn't be in charge of an organization. A guy that shouldn't be able to step foot in an NBA arena and make decisions. Sean Marks is horrible at his job. He gets bent.
Did you ever hear the story of when Allen Iverson went to John Thompson's office and said he wanted to be traded? He wanted to play college football. He wanted to play football. Did you hear this?
I did not know.
So he goes to Thompson's office and he's like, "Coach, I gotta talk to you." And Coach Thompson's like, "All right, sit down." And Iverson's like, I think I want," because he was the number one recruiting
wide receiver, right? Oh, he was a quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah, number one in the country. No, number two was Peyton Manning. And that's how high. Yeah. So he went into Thompson's office and said, I think I want to play football. You know what Thompson said to him? And
Shut the fuck up and get out of my office.
He said, "I'm not going to pick up that dumb shit again." And Iverson was like, "All right," and that was the end of football.
That's great.
It's
really that simple. Like, it's just,
yeah.
I see a comment that says James Harden would have just gotten fatter. Guess what? I'll pay for the Doritos and Burger King myself. Get on the fucking court and do what you need to do. I don't care.
Yeah.
If you want to be an asshole and mess everything up, get him. Just sit him out.
The reason why he got fat and lazy with Houston was because he didn't want to be there. The reason he didn't want to be there was because they had no chance of winning. The roster they had around him was disgusting. In Brooklyn, they had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. As soon as Durant comes back, you're a championship contender again. Just shut up. Deal with this for the next week or two. It was really that short of a time span until KD was supposed to come back.
Yep.
And then just shut up. Like, once KD's back, we're the best team in basketball. Shut up and just play. It's fine. It's all going to work out. That's what he should have said. That's what I would have said. Do you want me to trade you? No, I'm going to win a championship this year. You can leave on your own next year if you really want.
Yeah, because again, you look back at the trade with Harden. Congratulations, you got Seth Curry and Andre Drummond who weren't on the roster the following season. You got Ben Simmons who barely played, and you got a first-round pick that you still haven't used. Yeah, I could have let him walk for free and still been fine with it too. Like, it's
happier because I wouldn't have to take on Ben Simmons' contract.
Because you also have to remember too that there's people in free agency that have to make the cap space for you. When you're on a team, the team that you're on is allowed to go over that necessary cap space to bring you back. Other teams can't. You're losing out on money by walking. So go ahead, find that new home, buddy, because you'll probably end up back here anyway. Like, Sean Marks, when it comes to negotiations, genuinely may actually be the biggest idiot in the world. I've never seen somebody who is supposed to run an organization but gets bent over so easily every single time. It's despicable. He is horrible at what he does.
It's the most obvious thing in the world, too, right? Like, it's not like he's got a good track record. It's like, all right, well, he just lost this one move. It's like, he sucks. If you listen to him talk, he's not intelligent. But I used to always say this about the Jets old GM, Joe Douglas, who couldn't put a sentence together. It's like, you're running a multi-billion-dollar organization. That guy says, I want to run it. He can't put a sentence together. And you're going to hire him? Like, this is the best you can do. Now, Sean Marks isn't as stupid a human being as Joe Douglas, but Sean Marks doesn't strike you as a super intelligent person.
Watch any interview of him to talk about basketball and tell me when he can go 3 minutes without bringing up somebody's family member and how happy they are to have him, somebody's character, and what he thinks he wants to do. If you can show me a 3-minute clip where he doesn't bring up any of that dumb shit and actually tells me about results that are going to be done in the direction of the team and where he wants to go, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I was wrong. But the guy doesn't do it. He tells you a direction, then he tells you a different one, and he tells you that he wants guys with character and wants to fight hard and wants to. We're not tanking, we're not rebuilding, we're just trying to go out there and compete. Shut the fuck up. Go out there on that presser and say, we want to suck because we want a good player. We have nobody. We need help. NBA, help. Like, you ever seen that video of the dude in the car where he's like, police, help, and he's just like screaming it over and over again? That's me as a fan with this fucking team. I need help. Go get me help. And the only way to get help right now is by drafting a top tier player. So fucking help me. Do something.
No, I tend to agree. I was just watching this documentary they have on Netflix about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. And, they're talking about bringing in Charles Haley. And you know how Charles Haley was on the 49ers. He wanted out of the 49ers so badly. You know how he did it? And this is according to the documentary. He went in the owner's office, whipped it out, pissed on the owner's desk, says, "This is how badly I want to get out of here." So what they had to trade him, right? Yeah. There's a lot of stories about Charles Haley whipping it out in the locker room, right? But he whips it out. He pisses on his desk and says, "That's how badly I want out of here." They had to trade him. Then Jerry Jones, who was close, right? They just went from, in 2 years, they went from 1-15 to 10-6 and won a playoff game. Like they're building, or 11-5. They're building something here, right? That guy, I don't care how he acts. I need that guy, right? Charles Haley's a Pro Bowl player. I need him. Jerry Jones didn't say, well, he's not really the character guy that we want. Jerry Jones was like, I believe in second and third chances. Let's bring him in. That boy can play. Let's bring him in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for here. Yeah, I'm not looking for Boy Scouts here. Like, if he's a Boy Scout, that's fantastic. But ultimately, I don't care. I didn't come here and put this team together to make nice. I came here to try to win. In order to win a race, I need horses, right? Like, I don't care. Like, Sean Marks wants these character guys. If he's got great character, fantastic. But that's ultimately
that's the one thing that always has pissed me off about certain sports organizations. I don't give a fuck who you are as a player. If you haven't raped anyone and if you haven't murdered anyone and you put up 25 a game, get him on my team. I don't care if he can't speak publicly and he has a bad PR, image. I don't care if he goes out at night and drinks an entire 24 rack on his own and shows up the next day smelling like shit. If he puts up 25 a game and he wins you games, go get him. I don't care.
100%. I don't
care if one of his buttons wasn't done properly in your interview process and it showed bad character. I don't give a fuck. Just go get the best player available.
If he's that good, like if Aaron Hernandez would have beat the Chargers, if he would have got it dropped on a technicality, and the Jets could have brought him in, I'd say, let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation.
See, that one's a little bit. See, I said, if you rape or you murder, you probably shouldn't take him. That one I'm probably gonna have to disagree with. But like,
if Aaron Hernandez had the Chargers dropped on a technicality, right, like a chain of custody malfunction, like evidence got tampered with, so they had to throw the case away. You're telling me?
I mean, I don't think you could physically tamper with that evidence to show where he's burying bodies and shit.
It's a mental exercise here, right? Like it's a thought exercise.
It was bad.
Hypothetically, if he had beaten the Chargers, if they had to drop the Chargers, and he was eligible to play the NFL again, he was good, man. Like Aaron Hernandez, up until I saw Brock Bowers, he was the best pass catching tight end I'd ever seen at the college level. Like he was that good.
Oh, Brock Bowers was nasty.
Yeah, Bowers is better, but before Bowers, Hernandez was
he's probably a top 3 tight end already after his rookie season.
Yeah, and he's still 21 years old.
Yeah. I probably would have put him over Travis Kelce last year. He may be the second best tight end to me in football right now.
That's right. So if Brock Bowers beat murder charges where he was clearly guilty, right? He's clearly guilty, and for some reason they had to drop charges because something was mishandled in the league.
If you're clearly guilty, I'm probably going to say no. If you're clearly guilty, I'm probably
maybe the guy had. Are you perfect, Dylan? Have you ever done anything wrong in your life?
Well, I haven't touched anybody inappropriately. I haven't killed anybody. I haven't. I haven't done anything of a felony level. So yeah, I would like to think I'm doing all right.
All right, fair enough.
I may have verbally assaulted a few people to a point of, damn, like that was maybe a little harsh. but outside of that, I think I'm doing fairly well.
If you're a grown man and you can't handle words,
that's a different story. Yeah, if you can't handle words, you gotta get your help checked.
Yeah, you gotta get the help. You're not a woman, right? Like a woman, you gotta really kind of sugarcoat everything, right? Like like my daughter was in this contest and she came in second, right? And like I gotta tell her she didn't win. How do I do that? If it's your son, you say you suck. You have to work harder. Okay, that's it. That's the end of this discussion, right? Or
get
just
back outside,
someone else is
a little harder. Take an extra hour a day.
Your daughter, you can't. Oh, baby, you came in second, and that's excellent. Like it's women can't handle the truth, and it's because we don't give them the truth ever. I don't know. It's just like a chicken or the egg. Do we not give them the truth because they can't handle the truth, or can they not handle the truth because we never give them the truth? I don't know which one it is, but like. Women can't handle the truth, so you have to sugarcoat everything. Men, they don't get things sugarcoated. You sucked because you didn't work hard enough. I remember when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I think it was either 12 or 13. I had this boxing tournament. I got there. It was in Colorado Springs. We flew there. I fight the first day there. and I'm fighting this kid, and from North Babylon, New York. And I thought I won. I did really good. I won the first 2 rounds. I knew I lost the third round, right? And I'm expecting to get my hand raised, and they call us to the center ring to read off the cards. And they say, and the winner from the blue corner, North Babylon, New York. And I just like dropped, right? I just like really, like I came all the way out here and I lose in the first round. And I remember my dad said, "You're better than him, but you slacked on your road work and you faded in the last round. That's why you lost." Right? My mom is sitting here telling me, "Oh, baby, you did so good. Look how far you've come." My dad looked at me and was like, "That's why you lost." Right? My dad had to hit me with a truth bomb.
Sometimes you need them.
Right? This is why you lost. If you're better than him, but you faded in the last round because you've been slacking on your road work. And he was right. And it was a lesson learned. Like, okay. My mom telling me, how good I did, how proud I should be. I made it this far. That's fantastic. It's not helpful in any way, shape, or form. It's not. Telling me I should feel good. Yeah. All right. Let's get back. Let's get back
to Nets content.
I did want to address this comment. If Boston doesn't want to trade a first round pick to dump Anthony, Cam will get the remaining of the salary to meet the $139 million. But I wanted to address the first step because this was something I thought was real, and you haven't heard about it since. Anthony Simons makes no sense on Boston. Nick Claxton does.
Mm-hmm.
Is this thing going to grow legs again? Like
I mean, it could, but again, that's not solving the Nets cap issue because Anthony's making like 27.5, Claxton's making 23. So you're only at $4 million of cap space.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really solve a need, and that's the thing, right? If you're going to get Anthony, you're probably going to want a first-round pick included in it. Boston may or may not give that. I mean, if you're doing Anthony for Claxton, the Nets should be getting back 2 first-round picks, one for Claxton, one to take on Simons' contract. And if the Celtics aren't willing to do that, then I'm not talking to them. I wouldn't do it for just a first-round pick. You know what I mean? Like, I would need top 8 protected 2026 first-round pick plus a future unprotected first. And that's the only way that I do it. So
no, I'm doing this for your 2026 first. Maybe 2027, but really I want you
straight up unprotected.
Yeah. You can
I don't think they would give that up.
Yeah, I don't think they would give it up. If I give you, then we don't got no deal. Because if I give you a top 3 protected pick, you know it's going to be in the top 3.
Oh,
it's just like Philly's pick. So I'm not getting the pick. So it's got to be.
Well, the thing is with protections is it carries into the next year. So like say that you don't get that 2020. Yeah, so you don't get the 2028, you just get the 2027.
Right. So the next year the Celtics are going to be a competitor again. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be in competition.
I mean, if there's that small chance where Boston's a play-in team and they finish as a play-in team and they win a game or they lose immediately and they fall into that 9 through 14 range, you could be looking at a secondary lottery pick. I would take the risk just because there's an opportunity of it. But yeah, I mean, the only way that I would do that is if it's a top 8 protected 2026 and an unprotected 2032.
But so what I'm saying is I believe that wherever Boston, as long as Boston misses the playoffs, which I think they will, they're going to draft top 2. Okay.
Is there a more likely chance than not? Yes.
That's my inkling on it. So I don't want the unprotected pick because even if you miss the playoffs by 1 game, they're going to pick 2, just like Dallas did or San Antonio did. So then I'm getting their pick next year, which is going to be like 27 or 29 again. It's not going to be a good pick because they're going to be super competitive again next year when Tatum is back.
Wow, so I can see the Celtics getting like 4 or 5 and taking Mikal Brown as their point guard of the future. I could 100% seeing that happen. Or they take Chris Sinak, the center out of Houston. Like they're going to get something, man.
Yeah, no, the NBA is going to take care of them for sure. Just like if the Lakers end up in the lottery, the Lakers are good. The Lakers got 3 number 2 overall picks in a row, correct?
Philly's gotten what? 5 or 6 top 5 picks in the last 10, 11 years. You know,
it's really spectacular how the same teams keep getting those same luck. It's really quite extraordinary, actually. Like
yeah, no, it's almost like it
all happen to be big market teams. Yeah,
almost like it's rigged. Almost like I can never see it coming.
At the 4th pick, you don't put Nate Ament at the same level as Cam Boozer, right? You think Nate Ament's a clear level below?
Clear level below, yeah.
Okay. That's the other guy that I was super impressed with. Just his height, 6'10", wingspan, and can shoot. I look at him and I say the ceiling on that guy is really high. 6'10", 7'1" wingspan, shooter, offensive package. I don't know. I like. If the Nets walked away with Nate Ament, I'm gonna be happy. Look, I want Darren Peterson. Clearly, I think that's the prize jewel of the draft. I think DeBansa is a can't miss. I think Camboose is a very good, but I think Nate Ament is a really good player. Like from what
he's definitely a sleeper.
We'll get to see more, but the only thing is he's super frail, right? Like he's built like KD.
Very, very skinny. Yeah, like pretty much Noah Senge with a slightly higher ceiling.
Okay. But I wouldn't be upset if we walked away with a man. Like I want one or two. I can live with 3 or 4. After that, I feel like we're gonna end up just getting a dude, and I'm gonna be furious if we just walk away with all these dudes, like just guys.
Just guys being dudes.
Yeah, I just a bunch of guys on the roster. Like I just so badly want a top 2 pick in this draft. So I
just want a franchise-changing player for once in my life. I want one that I can sit here and watch for 10 to 15 years and say, yeah, that was my guy.
The closest thing we've ever gotten to one of those guys on draft night is either Kenyon Martin
or Brook Lopez
or Richard Jefferson. Brook Lopez, okay. Like those are good players. I think Jefferson never made All-Star game, but those were all good players. None of them changed the franchise. I like Kmart, Brook Lopez. I still love Jefferson. I love, but none of those guys. We need to bring Rod Thorne back. Rod Thorne was the only guy that could save this. I said Kenyon Martin he drafted, and Richard Jefferson he traded for on draft night. We got Richard Jefferson and 2 other first-round picks on that draft night. One of them ended up being I think Scalabrine, and the other one was Jason Collins, probably.
Okay.
But we got Jefferson, and I think that's right. But we got Jefferson, and we traded Eddie Griffin for him. It's like that guy did nothing. That guy did nothing. And then, like the year before that, we took Kenyon Martin. We're building something there.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere.
All right. So let me bring this back to what the actual topic of the conversation is. We got plenty of cap space, especially if we don't bring Cam Thomas back. I like this idea. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if it's realistic. Anthony Simons and a pick for Nick Claxton, I think works out extremely well for both teams. If something like this doesn't happen, what is your suggestion on how we fill out the rest of the cap space? We got to do something with it. You don't want to give it to Cam Thomas. You don't want to overpay Cam Thomas above market value, which I understand. We got to do something with the money. What do you want to do with it? Well, I'm saying I'm putting you in charge. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm probably looking at Milwaukee. Probably looking at Kyle Kuzma. Horrible player, 2-year deal, matches up with MPJ. And they have a valuable first-round pick that they can trade out unprotected in 2031 or 2032. I'm probably taking one of those and a swap for a guy like Cam Thomas. Another team that I would probably look at, Detroit. I think Charlotte is I still think Charlotte's the team that's going to end up getting Claxton at some point here in the near future. They need a center more than life itself. I would 100% take a package of Grant Williams and Josh Green, or Josh Green and Tejan Saloon, or whatever it may be, Colin Sexton and Tejan Saloon, whatever it is. I would look into some of those packages with Charlotte. They got assets to move. They've got valuable youthful pieces. They've got contract matches. I think Charlotte's the team for Claxton 100%. I mean, if I'm just doing it quickly, right, you're looking at, let's see, we'll say Claxton for this example. You can go with Colin Sexton, Josh Green, and a 2027 top 2 protected Dallas Mavericks pick for Claxton, right? You get an expiring contract. You can buy him out.
Give me that one more time. Let me process that. Give me that trade one more time.
Yeah. You would have Colin Sexton, and Josh Green. Colin Sexton's on an expiring $18.9 million contract, so you'll get that money this offseason, or you can just buy him out. You'll get Josh Green, who matches up with the Michael Porter Jr. contract, 2-year deal, and a 2027 top 2 protected Dallas Mavericks first-round pick for Nick Claxton. I would take that all day. There's numerous routes that you can go with this that work, right? Even if you don't want to take on Colin Sexton, you could replace him with a Grant Williams who's on a 2-year deal. You can replace him with a Pat Connaughton who's on an expiring contract. You can replace him with Tejan Saloon, who's a second-year guy, 3 years left on his deal at $7.8 million. There's numerous routes that you can go with this. I think Charlotte's the team long term that needs Claxton the most, that puts them in a better position to win. I mean, listen, if I'm Charlotte, I'm very much so intrigued by the idea of having, LaMelo, Con Kneppel, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Nick Claxton as my starting 5 with, Colin Sexton, Grant Williams, Pat Connaughton, Trey Mann, Nick Smith, Mason Plumlee, like guys like that off the bench. That's intriguing to me. That's something that you can build around. And Claxton fits perfectly with the timeline of Charlotte and some of their key players. So, yeah, I think Charlotte's going to be the team to get that done at some point.
I guess my question is Charlotte looking to compete this year? I would say yes, but I said that last year too. Is Charlotte looking to compete this year?
I think they're play-in material. I think they're 8 through 10 seed. Do I see them being the best play-in team available? No. But do I see them in that 8 through 10 spacing as long as LaMelo is healthy? Yes. I think Con Kneppel is a perfect role player to put next to guys like, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and LaMelo. I think Miller can take a leap. I think Bridges, if he stays consistent at that 17 to 19 points per game, is one of the better third option guys that you can have on your team. And I think Claxton, if they were to get him, anchors down that defense and helps you out on the perimeter as well. So, yeah, I 100% think they'll be a play-in team this year.
So, Sexton really has no role, assuming Charlotte's healthy.
I mean, he could be your backup shooting guard, which is why I think they need to pick between one of him or Josh Green, right? It makes more sense to move Sexton, but who's the better player? Probably Sexton. You know what I mean?
Sexton's better. Yeah.
It just really depends on what they're trying to do fit-wise, right? Because Trey Mann is 100% your backup point guard, and that's one of the best backup point guards you can have. He's, 24 years old. He's on an $8 million deal for the next 3 years. Incredible piece to have. He took a major leap last year when he was healthy, got hurt, and you got him back for cheap. So I think that's a great fit off of the bench. Grant Williams, you kind of need a backup forward and a leader. It makes sense to keep him, right? So to me, it comes down to Colin Sexton or Josh Green. Which one are you going to move off of? And then who are you going to add to that deal to finalize it? Is it Pat Connaughton? Is it Tejan Saloon? Whoever it may be, you have to throw somebody in to make those salaries work. So, I think Charlotte's the team to get this done. They're in the best position and in the biggest need for a center to hit that next level of where they want to be as an organization.
Yeah, Sexton is scheduled to make $19 million next year.
Yep.
It's expiring deal. Obviously, we could just buy him out, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think Sexton to Sexton to Tejan Saloon in that Dallas pick. Send that over.
Yeah.
The Nets they're only getting back $1.4 million in contracts, so it's not like you're breaking the bank for anybody. You can buy out Sexton to create the roster spot. You get a young piece in Tejan Saloon and you get an additional first-round pick. Do it.
I'm with that.
I love that.
I'm with that, Trey. Yeah. Now that there's an idea, and I think that works because you can buy Sexton out, and someone would Sexton would have.
Somebody would pick up Sexton on a league minimum
teams.
for sure.
Yeah, you'd have a bunch of teams he could pick from, right? A bunch. I think that's if the Anthony Simons trade to Boston can't work out. I think that's your best option. I think that's. Well, I guess in theory you could do both trades, right? You could. Oh no, because you can't trade Claxton twice. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. Yeah.
No, to me, the two deals that you would kind of try and correspond with one another is you go Sexton to Tejan Saloon in that first round pick for Claxton. You buy out Sexton. You release Tyrese Martin, you release Jalen Wilson. That's already creating 3 roster spots. And then you sign and trade Cam Thomas, $15 million a year for 3 years. You give that over to Milwaukee for Kyle Kuzma and an unprotected 2031 or 2032 first round pick.
I guess that's it.
Listen, if you're able to have Denver's unprotected 2032 and Milwaukee's unprotected 2031, you could be contending by then as an organization. And if you can gatekeep those picks, you could also still be looking at 2 top 10 picks back-to-back years while contending. That's the similar position of what OKC has been in. That's, again, the blueprint, what you want to do as an organization. So, yeah, to me, all of the Knicks picks can be traded. I don't give a fuck about the Knicks picks. Those 2 that I want to keep is Denver and if you were to get Milwaukee, those would be the 2 picks I'd want to keep.
Well, the Knicks 2030 pick and beyond.
They're going to have value, but I think those are the most replaceable picks, right? Like
yeah.
The Knicks are a large market. You know, maybe there is some luck that Jalen Brunson has 8 more years in him where he can play at a high caliber level and they can continuously fill out the roster around him. There is a small chance of that. But to me, Denver, once Jokic leaves, they're done. Milwaukee, once Giannis leaves, they're done. Right? So to me, those are the 2 picks to keep. I don't care about the Knicks picks. You got those in bulk for a reason. Right? Those are going to be your trade pieces at some point. Those picks that you want to gatekeep and hold on to for dear life, that would probably be Denver and Milwaukee.
The last topic I wanted to discuss, now that we're talking about what to do with the money, I know what I want to do with it, and this is the final topic. Reports out of New Orleans again that Zion is going to demand a trade. That's what I want to do with the money. We can figure it out. Throw Cam Thomas in the trade, maybe Claxton in the trade, get rid of 2 players, throw him some picks. Everything is good to go outside of the 2026 first round pick. So I'll give you
at that point, you might as well throw it in. You're not going to be a bottom 5 team. That's why I have no desire to add somebody of that nature right now. It doesn't intrigue me. You know, again, that's where the mediocrity stuck in the middle comes into play. All right, cool. We add Zion Williamson to a team that just won 28 games. Let's go out there and win 33, fellas. Let's keep it going. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. That pisses me off more. You know, like to me, stay away from him for a year.
But you know what pisses me off? When we finish with the 3rd or 4th worst record in the NBA, and we draft 6 and we take Mikal Brown. That's what pisses me off.
I'd rather that route. At this point, I would genuinely rather that route. Like you have to suck. You have to do it. You got to get it over with.
I want to be on board with you. I want to be on board. I want to say, let's just suck this year and get Darren Peterson or AJ DeBanza. Let's do that. I just don't see those guys playing on the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't see it, right? Like, just like we couldn't get Kobe, like we can't get a franchise-changing player because like we suck. So like, I don't know what's the best we can do. I've been saying this for a year now. I guess it's Zion. The price is right. He's not going to cost you a leg and an arm because he plays 20 games a year, and now he's demanding a trade, and no one really wants him because he plays 20 games a year and he's fat.
Well, he hasn't demanded a trade. He's just the guy that
he has not.
Yeah, to, and I still don't think he's going to. I still think the guys that are likely to request trades here in the next 2 years, probably Devin Booker, Ja Morant, Giannis. You know, guys like that. I see those guys being the ones that request him. You know, Zion, I don't think he gives a shit about basketball. So it's like he's making $35 million. Guess what? I can play 20 games and not have any burdens on my shoulder over here in New Orleans. Why leave? Shit, the food's great. He knows it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him demanding a trade here anytime soon. I don't think so, at least. Unless if it's his agent that wants him out. Then that's different. But Zion personally, no, I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah, they just because he's not going to play anyway. So what does it matter where he's not going to play? Right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to play in Brooklyn. I'm not going to play in Salt Lake City, or I'm not going to play in New Orleans. It really doesn't matter. I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like to me, if we don't end up with, and I'll throw Boozer in too, Peterson, DeBanza, or Boozer, or a man. Like, it's all for naught for me. Like, it all sucks. Like, it sucks, and we're not going to get better this way. Like, we might get better, but we're not going to get competitive. And it's like now we're out of years, and we're out of picks. Now we don't have our pick in 2027. How are we getting better? Like, unless we're completely wrong about Traore or something, and Traore goes on and becomes. But I just look at this, and I'd be like, I don't, unless we get Peterson, Demansur, or Booza, I don't see a way out of hell. I really don't.
Sad reality. So suck and bottom out. Make sure you got the best chances of it happening.
But does that give you the sucking? Give you the, like, does Utah have the best chance of getting Peterson? I don't think that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if sucking.
It's the best fit by far. You add Peterson next to Ace and Larry Markkinen. I mean, shit, that's a market to build. I still think Utah ends up finishing second or third worst. They get the 5th pick and they get Mikal Brown. The Louisville point guard. Come on, we've seen this story with Utah before with Donovan Mitchell. I think they're getting Mikal Brown.
All right. As long as we draft ahead of them, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I want to be positive. I want Peterson in a Brooklyn Nets jersey more than anything in the world. I look at my franchise and I look at our history, and the best player we've ever drafted for our own organization is probably Kenyon Martin or Brook Lopez. It's not confidence inspiring. I'll just say that.
No, not at all. It's funny too because watch Indiana somehow find a way to fit into that top 3 and they get Cam Boozer next to Tyrese Halliburton. That would be disgusting. That would be ridiculous.
All right. We're trying here. We're trying to give you guys content. There's absolutely nothing to talk about. I think we filled over an hour of content pretty well. What do you think, Dylan?
I would say so. I mean, threw in some NFL, threw in some hypotheticals. Why not? You got to fill out the time slot somehow.
We'll be back. What is it today? Tuesday. We'll shoot for Thursday.
Yeah, let's say Thursday or Sunday. Those in between those days, I'm definitely available.
All right, let's do that. Hopefully something breaks. I don't think it will because Sean Marks isn't working right now. He's on hiatus, I guess, as he is every
Probably back in
season.
Australia.
Yeah. All right. Good show today, Dylan. I think we made the best out of a little content. I was even struggling to even have anything to talk about. This is
it was fluid.
This is this is a hard time to be a Brooklyn Nets fan. There's nothing to talk about.
Not one bit.
All right, y'all. It's August 26th, 2025. We'll be back probably on Thursday from Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.